You know, I woke up today and I realized we are grateful. You know why I'm grateful? That Final Fantasy VII has only Aerith and Tifa Lockhart in its game. Yo, what's good? We are literally 25 hours away from the big Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary celebration broadcast. So this is going to be really big, guys, because it's been almost a year since Integrate released and probably 2 years since it released on original PS4. Sorry Xbox fam, y'all gonna get the game sooner or later. I'm pretty stoked about this event because I really just want to see the next stage of Final Fantasy VII Remake. This broadcast is not going to be too long, so yes, my expectations are kind of tamed, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm also extremely hyped. Even if we don't get Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 news, which most likely that's all they need to show in a 10-minute broadcast, to be honest with you, I can expect a lot of things that happen with Final Fantasy VII, not even just the remake. One thing we still have no information on at this point is about Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. I mean, we got some tidbits here and there throughout the year, but I will say I think it's time for them to expand on when the game's coming out and how things will be releasing. I'm also in a theory crafting that we're not only going to get Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, I think we're going to get a lot of other stuff pertaining to just the world, lore, and franchise of Final Fantasy VII. Some people are theorizing that with Final Fantasy VII Remake, since the whole spoiler alert Zack thing is here, that we might potentially get a Crisis Core port or a Final Fantasy VII Remake Crisis Core. Personally, I'll 100% be down with that idea. I generally have fun with Crisis Core. It ain't perfect, but it is a very fun game with a lot of charm into it. I kinda already am predicting that the next part of Final Fantasy VII Remake will most likely have playable Zack in the game, or we might get some tidbits from Crisis Core put into the Final Fantasy VII Remake. What I would really love for Square Enix to do, and don't worry, I will talk about this more in the future, I wish they would put Final Fantasy VII, The First Soldier, on PS4 and PC and Steam. I think that game definitely would benefit a lot more if it just was on a actual console. You already have controller support in the game. Why not potentially just develop it or add a version to where you can play on a console or a home station? Square Enix, I know you got the money to do it. Go ahead and give it to me, man. That's all I want. I'm just so happy that it's the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy. I have this series dear to me for a long period of time. Final Fantasy VII's 25th anniversary does mean a lot for me. I've grown to love this franchise more over the years, especially over the last decade. That being said, if Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 gets announced, Square Enix is going to go insane in the next couple years, pretty much in 2023. You got Final Fantasy 16, you got Forspoken, then you got Final Fantasy VII Part 2 potentially being revealed and showed off all next year. Then there's Kingdom Hearts 4. Square Enix has big titles back to back. They all coming out swinging. Square Enix 2023 and beyond is looking to be sweet going into the next generation of gaming and even on PS4 as well. Don't forget about y'all. Love y'all too. Hopefully Square Enix doesn't disappoint tomorrow. I will be streaming that event. What would you like to see from the future of Final Fantasy VII? Or what would you like to see announced at this Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary? If we do get a Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 trailer, I'm not expecting it to be a full-length trailer. I'm expecting it to be more of a teaser. So I'm not expecting anything more than potentially 90 seconds tomorrow. That being said, if you want more updates on Final Fantasy content and JRPGs and fighting games, this is your channel to be on. I talk about almost everything whenever there's time to talk about it, man. And that being said, it's your boy Avataryaya. Follow me on Twitter at avataryaya_. And remember, you guys are golden and that is raw. Squala, peace, and I'm out.
Alright, who's next?
Let's see who's stronger.
I've been the devil, I need me an arc and no water. My breathing, I feel like time's roll. Walking this bitch with a sound to while she rock it, I keep me a domino. Bitch, I'm a dip and I feel like a Zaki. Stretching that pussy out like it's Pilates. I'm dashing the soul like right out of a body. Fire, I spitting, I feel like Dobby. White bitch, blonde hair, looking like Lucy. She from Kyoshi, I paint her face Suki.